What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets. We're checking back in. We got our On the Dot NFL Week 13 live stream coming always on a Sunday here where I'm at. I don't know if anybody else has gotten any snow where they're at, but got to play in the snow with the little one yesterday, so that was a bunch of fun. And also cash some college football parlays, and we continue challenge. So we hit day 2. We are on to day 3 in the Sharp Bros Discord. So make sure you guys check us out. Discord is below. But we will have some best bets today here. Appreciate you guys tuning in each and every week. I can't believe it's already week 13. As always, this is brought to you guys by Occupy Fantasy. Make sure you guys check those guys out. Brian, Moose, Chris, Chuck, they are all absolutely dominating right now. The NBA, NFL, NHL, it's UFC. It is where it's unbelievable product optimizers. Their Discord is one of a kind as well. They have 24/7 access. They are the best lineup optimizer that I use. I use every single time I build a lineup. So make sure you guys check those guys out at occupyfantasy.com. We'll use the OccuProp radar as always in this show, just to show you guys some free that should help you guys win some money. And here we are. Hope that you guys throw some comments in there. Love to hear from you guys. Player props, spreads, totals. I want to hear from you guys. Start sits. I know we got fantasy playoffs coming up. I'm ruined in all 3 of my leagues. So more than likely just going to give advice and probably do the opposite of what I've been doing this year. So, but no, I did not go Saquon Barkley in the first round like some people did. So yeah, I was toast. What's up, Killer Libra? What up, Big Capper? Following you to the grave. I appreciate you, buddy. Sharp Bros. Yep, we are absolutely killing it in there. Like I said, we dominated the college football slate yesterday. Got absolutely incredibly lucky. It was going to be an all-time bad beat on USC. I mean, 2 pick sixes in the last 5 minutes of the game as they were driving down 7. Then all of a sudden it went down 14-21. And I'm like, what is going on? I mean, I was livid, trying to give the toddler a bath. And I'm like, nope, can't do that right now. I got to watch the end of this game. But yeah, somehow, some way, Notre Dame let them score. And we had 14.5. That little one-handed catch to end the game basically was 14. So that cashed us a parlay. It was insane. Do not ever see that whatsoever. All right, enough with yesterday. Let's get on to the NFL slate today. As always, I'll have a spread pick. I did have an under that I was going to share, but I said, screw that. Let's go with a same game parlay, which I've already shared on the show before. So let me know in the comments if you guys think you know what it is. And then we'll have a 6-point teaser, which we've been absolutely smashing this year. I think it's 6 or 7 in a row. And then we have 3 prop bets and our pick to click anytime touchdown, which we cashed last week with Nico Collins. I think he was the first touchdown of the game too. So I always try to sprinkle that as well. But yeah, last week we went 4-2-1 for plus 2.27 units. So nice week last week if you guys tuned into the show. Yes, sir. I'm over Charbros. Don't know if you remember my name. Oh yeah, I see you tagging me. You put together some good slips in there. Keep doing that. Keep doing. All right. Any questions? Throw those in the comments. Let's get after. I think this is one of the best Sundays of football this season. The matchups are great. The totals are somewhat high. So if you're playing DFS, you're going to have to score this week. I think you're definitely going to have to score. But I really some of these matchups this week. And let's get to a potential Super Bowl preview as our first play of the day. And we're going to go with the Ravens here at home. The Ravens -3, -102 over on DK. I think it's a little bit juiced on some other books. Let me show you guys the live odds tab here over on occupyfantasy.com. Use this all the time just to see where I'm at throughout the other sports books. And if you scroll down here, you got minus 108, minus 105. So minus 102 over on DK. We are going to go with the Ravens. And I've a lot of love for like the first half under in this game, and which makes a lot of sense because both teams start pretty slow. If you want to take the Ravens first half, that's a pretty good angle as well. As the Eagles do start slow, and the Ravens historically with Lamar Jackson have been very, very good first. I just think overall the run game, which with Jalen and Saquon, between all these different the softer matchups that they've had, they've seen this inflated number. And I think the books have it right here with this 3 number with the Ravens' favor, because I think they're going to get action on both sides pretty well. But I think the Ravens ultimately win this game. I say by 7+. I just think they're the more battle-tested team. They came from behind, I think, on the Chargers last week. And overall, Derrick Henry against this Eagles defense should definitely do well. But I think the biggest challenge is Jalen versus Saquon, and Saquon versus Baltimore's defense. They're going to try to make Jalen Hurts pass against them, which I really, really like AJ Brown this game. Devontae Smith is out. So, you're going to see Dallas Goedert be pretty heavily used as well. So for DFS purposes, that's a good angle. Ultimately, this Ravens team, battle-tested defense, and just I think a better overall team here at home. I think the Ravens get it done. It's going to be a hell of a game to watch. So I would not blame anybody if you guys do end up taking the Eagles plus money, or maybe teasing them up or whatnot. But I really like the Ravens here, and it's going to be a phenomenal matchup. We got what's up, Zippy? Says Brian Thomas plus 210. I think he has a great matchup with Trevor back. Yeah, and Trevor was adamant about playing this week, so I think he's going to ball out. You got him against this Texans defense, who they are putting the Texans, right? I'm just before I put my foot in my mouth. Yeah. But yes, great matchup. This Texas defense has led up a good amount of yardage and touchdowns to the wide receivers. So yeah, plus 210, great matchup. I do like that number. I think the books are a little slow there on that number. But yeah, so we'll go back to Ravens. Going to be a great matchup. I would not blame anybody if you guys did take the Eagles, but I think the more battle-tested team, better defensive team, even though the Eagles defense has been very, very well as of late, we're going to go with the home team here, Ravens to cover -3. Let me know what you guys think of that game. That game's one of my favorites of the day. I also do love the Steelers-Cincy game. Going to be a phenomenal matchup. You have just tons and tons of action in that one. Then this Rams-Saints game is a little sneaky for DFS purposes. If you want to stack the Rams side, bring it back with which is just disgusting, or bring it back with those are good pieces there. But you could stack with Puka, Cup, bring it back with Taysom, bring it back with Kamara. I think it's a good stack. All right. So I had a same game parlay. The under that I was going to give out, I'll discuss that now. It was the Seattle Jets game. It was going to be under 41.5. It's going to be under 41.5. I ultimately stayed off of it. It's a terrible schedule for the Seahawks, and I cannot believe the Jets are favored, but it's the right move with the I think it ultimately all the sharp money came in to make them favored on their end. Seattle basically has played 3 straight conference games, sandwiched in with the Jets, sandwiched in with the Cardinals next week. I mean, it's a great spot for the Jets. I just can't come on here and say I'm going to put hard-earned money on the Jets anymore this year. I just can't do it. I just cannot do it. So I was going to lean the under. Ultimately stayed away from it, but I would not be opposed if anybody put some coin on the Seattle Seahawks, New York Jets under 41. Should not should not have any explosive plays. Both defenses have come in to fruition there, but yeah, it's an ugly game. What's up, Kyle? Says, well, that under isn't good for my question. DK or Adams? I'm assuming this is to start in fantasy. And if it's to start, I would probably go DK. I think he has the better ceiling. And I mean, you've seen Sauce Gardner play this year. He's been horrific. So maybe they come back out of the bye week and they do well. But I think DK is the better one. I think Wilson gets more than Adams in this game. But yeah, I would go DK there. But yeah, tough. But that matchup sucks. It's not very good. All right. And to our same game parlay, we hit this, I want to say 2-3 weeks ago. I think it was 3. And now they play each other. So that's the fun part here. And I think this is a very good angle to these games here. We have Drake May, 25 plus rush yards, Anthony Richardson, 25 plus rush yards. Same game parlay that over on FanDuel plus 103. Another angle here that you could play that I almost played, which I saw a lot of people play last week, was Richardson's in the first quarter rush yards. You could go that route again. It's like 8.5. They always come out of the gate with like 3 or 4 design runs on the first. It's like how he gets like himself ready for the game. Could the Patriots be ready for it and stop them? 100%. But I think overall in this game, Drake May, who's like one of the top 2 or 3 in the league of yards per run for quarterbacks, and he's just sneaky. Should get some pressure here from this Colts defense that has actually improved the last several weeks. So Drake May gets some pressure on him, rolls out, part of his game. So 25 plus yards there. Anthony Richardson, who has just been an absolute beast since he got benched, came back, was more comfortable in the role. They're actually letting him have more design runs. Love Richardson, 25 plus rush yards here. You could ladder it, go up 50, 60 as well. He's been doing that each and every week. So very, very safe same game parlay here, but I like both quarterbacks to get 25 plus here. All right, we got a 6-point teaser as well. And last week, I think we had like Titans, Chiefs. No, it was Titans. I think Titans, Dolphins. Yeah, and that was. I don't even think we sweated through any of that. So that was a nice one there. What do we got here, Zippy? Maybe MVS at plus 275 as well. Oh, if you're gonna put hard-earned coin on that, go ahead. I will never ever put any money on on MVS. No way. They catch a deep ball, but good luck to you on that. I can't do it. He catches 1 or 2 balls a game, and then of course he wins somebody $1 million in the millie. So that's why I will never probably win $1 million in DFS, because I just can't stomach playing those guys. All right. 6-point teaser. We got the Falcons and the Bucks. All right. Minus 120, 1.25 units over on DK. I think the Falcons win this game outright. What do we got here right now for the Falcons game? It's +1, +1.5 across the board. Tease that up to +7, +7.5. Brutal schedule here for the Chargers. And then they kind of get sandwiched here as the Chargers go ahead and look at the week after, which they play the Chiefs. So do you think that they just play the Ravens on, I think it was Monday Night Football, or Sunday Night Football, and then boom, they play the Falcons here, and then next week they play the Chiefs. So very, very nice sandwich spot here against the Falcons, who come off of their bye, which probably needed to come at a better time here, as they were kind of reeling defensively, offensively, get back to work here, but at home. And as a dog, I mean, I'm okay with taking money line here for the Falcons, but I'm gonna tease them up and go 7.5. And then it's kind of scary here with the Bucks, but I think just overall, they're the better team against this Panthers but this Panthers, you got Canales going against his former team, which always is a little bit scary. But overall, Bucks are in play here. The Panthers are not in play for the playoffs. The Bucks need to have a win. I think they get a win. So tease that down, minus, basically a pick 'em. So minus 120. The other option you had was, maybe Commanders, but that game scares me. I almost teased the Titans up. The Titans have been playing very good recently. And the Commanders' offense has not been that great, but and then they lose Eckler on top of it. So just stayed away from that game completely. But we're gonna go Falcons +7.5, Bucks, basically a pick 'em for the 6-point teaser, like those two angles. And if you want to take Falcons money line, go right ahead. I really, really like that spot for the Falcons. All righty, let's go. Let me know if you guys have any other questions in the chat. We'll go to our props, talk about FS strategy to go ahead with this week with our to click anytime touchdown player of the week. All right, before we get into the props, we are going to show you guys here over on occupyfantasy.com. Scroll over to the this is free. I use this religiously on every single prop that I try to put on there because it shows you every single prop available at the books. So we're going to go to our first one. And if it pops up, we're going to go Bucky Irving over 2.5 receptions. Okay. 2.5 minus 132. You go to the total receptions here and you see it's heavily juiced at every other book. Minus 160, minus 160, minus 155. And for whatever reason, FanDuel's hanging at minus 132. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm okay with this juice here. Bucky's basically the 1A to Rashad being the 1B now. And you would think as Bucky as a more of a rushing, more rushing of a running back, but he's actually gotten a lot of love in the pass game. He in his last 5 games, 3, 7, 3, 3, and 6 targets. Basically the same 3, 7, 3, 3, 6. Just an unbelievable amount of production in the receiving totals here. If you want to go ahead, I think it's like 20.5 for his receiving yards. If you want to ladder that, he's at 54, 40, 10 and 14, and then he had 64 last week against the Giants. But you're going here up against this Carolina Panthers defense who you could run all over. So I don't mind if you guys do take the Russian plus receiving, which is like 82.5, which is an incredible number for Bucky, as he's basically in a three-man backfield. So it's hard to stomach taking that. But over 2.5 receptions, I think we're going to get there this week here. The best angle, in my opinion, as he's had tons and tons of production in the past game. So let's go ahead with Bucky over 2.5 receptions, minus 132. David Lee, what's up, man? Appreciate you tuning in. Josh Allen for a touchdown. Yeah, I'm all for that always. There is weather concerns there, but I think all the snow will be gone by game time. So that total hasn't gone anywhere. I think it's 44.5. So yeah, I'm Josh Allen in a big game, totally down for a touchdown. Anytime you get Josh Allen in a big game, go ahead and take his rushing attempts, touchdown, anything like that. So I'm good with that. Killer Libra. So in FanDuel, would that be alternate spreads and select minus? So you would, I think there's a teaser app, or not an app, but in FanDuel you can click teasers and it goes up. But basically, otherwise you would just go to alternate spread plus 7.5, not minus 1.75, because you want to tease it up. So it'll be lower odds. All right, back to, so we got Bucky over 2.5 receptions, and we're going to go to the Cincy Steelers game. Going to be one hell of a game, and this one just keeps going up. And I've looked at it early in the week, and it was like in the 250s. Looked at it last night, 61, and I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to take it because I think he can get to. I think get this week. All in on Joe Burrow over. It's still over 264.5 pass yards. Let me pull up the OccuProp radar one more time. We're going to search for Joe Burrow. This matchup, absolutely. I mean, the Bengals are playing for their lives. They've been playing for their lives for a while, and you've seen the production from Joe Burrow. Because why would you put it in any other person's hands here? We're going to go to, let's see, total passing attempts. Then should scroll down to total passing yards. So yeah, it's even as high as 270.5 over on BetMGM, all the way down to 264.5 on FanDuel. So obviously take it over on FanDuel. If you want to ladder it, I'm okay with going to 275, 300 plus. You versus the Steelers. Last two meetings he's had 338 and 355, and all games he's thrown for 428 and 356. And basically that Chargers game was unbelievable. He's had big plays to Jamar Chase over and over again. Chase Brown out of the backfield has been a godsend for this team, not only rushing the ball, but receiving the ball, which is very, very good at. So, like I said, you're going to put the ball into Joe Burrow's hands, especially if you need to win this game at home, facing the Steelers team that just came off a loss, I believe, to the Browns. It's just all signs kind of point to backing Tomlin as a dog. And if you want to do that, it's even better for this play, as if you're playing from behind, Joe Burrow is just going to absolutely sling it. So over 264.5 pass yards, totally fine with it. I mean, just look at the pass attempts recently: 37, 39, 56, and 50. I mean, they're literally saying, Joe, please God, just win us the game. We need it. So over and over again, they're going to continue to go to Joe Burrow. And this Pitts defense is probably top 10 in pass attempts allowed. So, because usually they're up and teams are playing from behind. Could see that today from the bank. My bad. I was behind. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Tease that up. You want to go plus 7.5. Plus 7.5. What's up, Brett? Appreciate you tuning in, buddy. It says CMC and JJ anytime touchdown. Their TD slumps end today, right? Man, you would think I got burned with Jefferson last week on a builder. I needed him to get 50 receiving yards, and he actually had a 40-yard touchdown, I think, come back on PI. But then you also I think Hawkinson coming in, not screwed with his mojo, but it's just another person in there that can catch passes and ultimately take touchdowns away from them. But the Vikings up against the Cardinals, I think that's a good match. CMC, that I don't think Purdy's playing. I think Purdy against or with that team is crazy enough to say, but I think he's very, very crucial to how that offense runs. You saw last week; it was just absolutely horrific, and they could not get much going. I don't know. It's tough to stomach CMC. I'd rather just go JJ and maybe go with a different receiver. But could it happen for sure? But I'd probably just lean more JJ than CMC, especially with the snow game. Just all types of different factors there. What's up? We got another comment, David. Hey, Nelson Aguilar over 7.5 sleeper on receptions. Dotson over 11. Let me see what those guys have done. I try to stay away from Aguilar or Dotson. They just don't get too many receptions. Let's see. Let me look real quick. 7.5. How many targets? Yeah, Aguilar didn't even get targeted last week. He's gotten 1, 2, 1, and then 0 last week. I mean, it's a dart play. If you want to throw it in there, it's a dart play. You got to hope for just one catch. Dotson has got a little bit more run. Let's see. Dotson, 11.5. So he's got 36, 27, 8, and 4. And he's caught a pass in 4 straight games. You're really hoping for, another one catch play here. So I think 11 yards is pretty wild line here for someone who only caught one pass, only been targeted once or twice a game. So yeah, I'd probably not stay away from them, or if you want to go the under, like you're saying here, yeah, definitely go the under. But yeah, those two, just don't move the ball, move the line for me too much. All right, so we got Joe Burrow, 264.5, and you can ladder that up to 300. I think he goes off today. And this one was a subscriber play that kind of just went wild this morning. Did not want that to happen, but sometimes the lines just move. So I literally gave out Brian Robinson Jr. over 8.5 in the Discord, and all of a sudden they're blowing me up, says, hey, it's 11.5 now on FanDuel. What do we do? I'm like, holy cow. I literally took it 20 minutes ago. So it shot up to 11.5 on FanDuel. It's still 7.5 over on DraftKings, which I will show you guys here on the OccuProp radar. So if you want to go ahead and take 7.5 over on FanDuel, you can. It's minus 130. So if you're okay with taking that juice, go right ahead. Let's see, total receiving yards. So yeah, for the weirdest thing, I mean, it was 8.5 when I took it on FanDuel, and then all of a sudden it shoots up to 11.5. So I have it here over 11.5 receiving yards on the screen. I would just go down to a half unit on that if you 1.5. I have 1 unit, but let me edit that real quick. But yeah, it just took me for a loop, and I'm like, man, 8.5. So if you got BetMGM, take that on BetMGM minus 125. Over on DK, it's minus 130. 7.5. I like this play a lot. I explained it in the Discord. There's no Eckler, and I'm expecting him to get at least 3 or 4 receptions today, or targets at least. He averages about 9 yards a catch against this Titans defense, who gives up a good amount through the air through the running backs, because you cannot run on this team. And with a struggling offense, I think they're going to try to move the ball out of Jaden Daniels' hands pretty quick. Plus, I don't think he's going to be able to run on this team. So you're going to have to get the ball out, screen plays, get Brian in space. McNichols is there, but he's just not the he doesn't do much in the pass game. So you're going to see extra here for Brian Robinson. Okay with him, even with the ankle injury last week. Even with go back to this. Even with Smith out, Dotson, yeah. I mean, when Smith's out, Goddard gets a bunch of the work. So I wouldn't. I mean, Dotson literally said, 1 or 2 targets a week. It's kind of a throwaway play if you want. But Goddard, Smith are usually the beneficiaries there to Smith being out. Nick R, what's up? Yeah, the odds on. I mean, I literally gave it out, and I was just like, usually never happens. I don't have that much sway or any sway at all. So someone must have had some group that did it the exact same time as me or something like that, and it was like, hey, let's bump this up to 3 yards. It just doesn't happen very often, especially late on a Sunday. Killer, what's up? So Joe Burrow for 2 passing touchdowns. That I don't even know what that line is, but yeah, I'm all for that. 2 passing touchdowns. You go 300 plus and 2 touchdowns. That'd be a nice little same game parlay there. If the Bengals are going to win, that's the only way they're going to win, is if Joe absolutely dominates. Copy that. All right. Yep. So yeah, keep those questions coming. We got about, what do you got? A couple more minutes here. And so we got our 3 prop plays. Yeah, we did have what was that for? Comments. That odds change was wild. All right. Let's go to let's talk DFS real quick before we get out of here. Before we do the anytime touchdown score. Probably my 2 favorite or 3 favorite. Let's do 3 favorite stacks of the week. Obviously, Baltimore. If they're going to be trailing, if I think the Ravens are going to be scoring and winning, coming back with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, that stack right there is going to be great this week. If you want to just play AJ Brown, totally fine with that. Bring it back with, say, Flowers. Bring it back with Derrick Henry. A little bit more expensive, but you can do it. The other one that I really, really like, I talked about this earlier in the show, was this Rams Saints game. Stafford, Puka, Kupp, expensive. Not as expensive as the Philly stack, because basically Stafford is 5,800 compared to 7,700. So you're basically at saving $2,000 there. But Puka and Kupp are expensive. Bring that back with Kamara or a cheap Taysom Hill. Or if you want to get wild with it, do MVS. If you want to do wild, do MVS. But I really, really like the Rams side there. The Rams 2.5 was fringe on the show, but I didn't want to homer it and do that. So I'm not playing with the Rams. I play them on DFS. The other one, obviously, what I just talked about with Burrow being a stud this week, I'm obviously going to be on him for DFS. So the Bengals go Higgins, Chase, or take one of those two out. Maybe play a Chase Brown because he gets a bunch of pass game work. So you can play one of those four, or basically Burrow, Chase, and one of the Higgins or Chase. Backside, bringing that back. You could always go with Pickens. Pickens is a great one. Or if you want to go a little bit different, go Jalen Warren. And if you think Mike Williams is up for it, hey, if you're playing the Millie Maker and you want to get different, go Mike Williams with it. But I think Pickens running it back there is a great stack. That just Burrow, when he's in these matchups, he absolutely kills it. So let's go with Joe today. Those are my three favorite props. You're going to have Puka be very popular. You're going to have Vlad McConkey be very popular in low risk. Then I would say Brian Robinson, very popular as a 6.5 point favorite. Eckler as well. So just make sure you guys, correlate. And this is a great DFS slate, in my opinion. So good luck to you guys all in there. But let's do the anytime pick to click touchdown of the day. I want to know who you guys think is going to score a touchdown too. So throw those in the comments. But my pick to click, I mean, we've talked about them a lot in the show. It's kind of low-hanging fruit, but man, let's do it. The Ravens cannot stop anything regarding any wide receiver one, and I don't think it stops here with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown plus 120 on FanDuel. I'll pull up the OccuProp radar real quick. I think this isn't as roller coaster-y as I normally pick, but it just makes too much sense here. Just like last week, it made too much sense with Nico. I was like, why are we getting this plus 140 number? It makes no sense to me. He's got to score, right? So he's plus 125 over on BetMGM if you want to take it there. Plus 115 on Caesars. Plus 120 DK and FanDuel. I mean, this makes too much sense. It's literally low-hanging fruit, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. And give me plus odds for it. The Ravens have given up 15 wide receiver touchdowns on the year, mainly to wide receiver ones. It doesn't matter if it's Humphrey, the rookie, that they get 8 alive on deep balls. If you want to go longest reception for AJ Brown, go ahead. I'm totally down for Snack Box. What's up, buddy? Appreciate you tuning in. We got David Lee, yep, Josh Allen TD, Higgins for a TD. I'm okay with that. Yeah, that goes with that 2+ passing touchdown. If you got Joey Porter on Jamar Chase, T. Higgins should, but they move Chase around so much that it doesn't matter. So Porter's not going to shadow him everywhere he goes. So I'm not too concerned about Jamar Chase this week. But T. Higgins for a touchdown. He's a touchdown machine when he's healthy. So go ahead right there. I'm good with that. But yeah, I will have anytime touchdown parlays shortly in the Discord. I usually throw about 3 or 4 in there. We have day 3 of the ladder challenge. We got about 350 going for 650 or so. And we are on our way to 5K. So we have those in the Discord. Make sure you guys join with the link below. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll same time next week. We got Sunday, 10 a.m. Central Time. And if you guys are watching on the replay, I'll be locked here to my computer till about noon. So if you guys have any questions, hop in the Discord, throw a comment on YouTube. And if you've liked this video, throw a like on there. Appreciate you guys tuning in each and every week. And let's cash some tickets. So appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.